Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today, we finally taste the forbidden fruit, a watch I've been dying to experience firsthand. At last, I experience it first wrist. We're discussing the 2015 Baselworld sensation Patek Philippe 5524G Calatrava Pilot Travel Time. You can see this 18-karat white gold blue-grained dial dual-time pilot's watch from Patek Philippe on our website. Purchase it there, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos. You can also click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Patek Philippe Calatrava Pilot Travel Time. Now, the watch is big, it's bold, and it's unique. Unlike many brands that have simply recapitulated history in facile fashion, Patek Philippe did draw some inspiration from its heritage and its museum timepieces, but aside from oblique reference to a number of oversized hour-angle navigator's watches, this watch is largely its own thing, an imaginative interpretation of mid-century pilot's watch design language with Patek Philippe's subtlety, fit, finish, and materials. It is substantial. For a Calatrava, 42 millimeters, not inclusive of crown or travel time pushers, means it has a broad span across my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. Now, in terms of thickness, it is just fractionally short of 11 millimeters thick, meaning it's quite thin. Especially given the conical slope of the bezel, I found that the travel time pushers do not impede the movement of a sleeve up and over the case, so though it is large, it can be worn with formal attire. The lug-to-lug span across the wrist is 50.5 millimeters, not oversized, simply large, but again, not ungainly, it's not voguish in any sense. The watch is quite traditionally proportioned, and perhaps even a little bit smaller than the average pilot-style tribute timepiece on the market now, but you won't forget that it's a special piece, because the white gold, truly stealth wealth at its best, weighs a ton. A large case in 18 karat, it also features a large screwed-in portion in gold on the case back. The sapphire portion is a relatively small proportion of the case back itself, which is mostly gold by mass, so the watch surprises with its heft. It features a calfskin light brown contrasting stitch aviator style strap, also calfskin on the bottom, and featuring Patek Philippe's pull tab spring bars for quick release and strap swapping. Even the pin buckle has been artfully crafted. First, it's more substantial than most pin buckles are, all in white gold, and Patek Philippe does use gray gold that is homogeneous white metal all the way through, not rhodium plated. But you'll also notice that it's in the style of a clevis buckle, as you may have seen on the wrists of aviators wearing timepieces through the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. No design overlooked, even the cross-hatching of the stitch is thoughtful and evocative. Now, the watch features wonderfully long and sloping lugs. Now, the fact that it isn't a 46 millimeter watch or some such similarly oversized novelty means that the lugs don't have to be indecently short or comically turned downward. Here they have nice span, and the watch does have three parts: the bezel, the case band, and the lugs. Visually, the lugs play an important role, long tapered, and one might even say relatively sinuous for a sports watch. This is the rare utility watch that's also sexy. Now, it does have a nice step to the conical bezel where it abuts the case band, giving the watch a nice longitudinal character line that runs the full circumference. But the dial is the highlight of this watch. Starting with the contrast of the white on navy blue, it's fantastic as you watch that lollipop-style seconds hand trace the arc of the railroad-style seconds and minutes track. You marvel at just how functional this watch is in the most traditional sense. It's a very easy timepiece to read. Now, you'll also note the level of design detail. Let me try to get the grain of the dial. What you can't really see to great effect unless you're holding it in your hand is the pebbly texture of the granular dial. It's beautiful. It's a matte finish when you look at it at arm's length, but it has gorgeous little peaks, valleys, and channels when you inspect it at close range. The rare luxury watch whose dial warrants loop examination in equal measure to its movement. Now, other details are just as satisfying. You'll note the cathedral-style blued hands, fully luminescent, beautifully broad. The watch glows like a torch at night, and each one of the Arabic numerals is hand-applied white gold with superluminova atop. Now, you can see there is a radial date at 6 o'clock with the most subtle of red accents in the transition from 31 to the 1st of the month. Let me show you something about this watch. Now, there are disabling functions for the travel time pushers. You can disable it by turning it a quarter turn in a clockwise direction. But let's say we're jumping time zones. We are world wanderers here. Watch the date. Oop, superimposed hour hand. Now you can see how I set the local hour hand separately from the reference time and how the one can be cleaned up to create a more spare, legible, a more simplified dial when you don't need the travel time complication. But let's say you do. Okay? Let's turn through the date change. As we travel, the travel time system accommodates jumping the date forward or backwards. Note the subtleties of the dial too. A small set of concentric circles cross-linked in railroad fashion, even around the small foy white hand of the radial date. Now you will notice that there is a pusher adjuster in the flank of the case for adjusting the date. And once more, I just want to remind those of you who may have zoned out, the travel time adjusters can be locked. Now, the movement is the 324 base Patek Philippe's center rotor automatic, known as the SCFUS. So it has a calendar, it has center seconds, it's also a travel time watch. 29 joules, automatic winding, approximately 35 to 45 hour power reserve, dual time. It features a free sprung balance for stability, accuracy, and shock resistance. And it also features, in addition to that Gyromax free sprung architecture, a Spiromax amagnetic silicon hairspring of Patek Philippe's own design. A watch that's beautiful inside and out, absolutely unique, and I'll add, one of the few precious metal Patek Philippe watches that competes in the same terms and with the same intensity for collector adoration and collector dollars as the steel sports watches. The rare Patek Philippe that's as hot on the market in gold as a Nautilus or Aquanaut in steel. You can see this timeless piece and landmark watch and make it your own on our website.